Did you hear about Cbus? The massive superannuation fund just got hit with a whopping $23.5 million penalty from the federal court? That sounds like a big deal, right? Well, it is, but the real story is who's actually going to pay for it. If you're a Cbus member, you might want to sit down for this. It's not the company executives, it's not some insurance policy. It's you. The money is coming directly from member fees. So, what did Cbus even do to get fined this much? The court found them guilty of major failures in their claims processing system. This isn't just a small administrative error. We're talking about people who are trying to claim their total and permanent disability benefits money they desperately needed after a life-altering event. Cbus was taking way too long to handle these claims, leaving vulnerable members in the lurch. For 5 whole years, between 2016 and 2021, their system was a mess, and now the members are footing the bill for the cleanup. Let's break down how this is possible. When a company gets a fine, you'd think the company itself pays. But in the world of super funds, it's a bit different. Cbus is an industry super fund, which means it's run to benefit its members, not shareholders. So, when a massive expense like this comes along, where does the money come from? It gets absorbed into the fund's operational costs. And how are those costs covered? Through the fees that every single member pays. So, that $23.5 million gets spread out, and bit by bit, it's deducted from the retirement savings of its 900,000 members. You might be thinking, isn't there a law against this? Well, the government actually tried to pass legislation to stop super funds from using member funds to pay penalties. It was called the Your Future, Your Super Law. The idea was to make the funds themselves and their executives accountable. But that part of the law was blocked in the Senate. The argument against it was that it could make it hard to attract qualified people to be fund directors if they were personally on the hook for massive fines. So, the law didn't pass, and here we are. This isn't just a Cbus problem. It's a systemic issue across the entire superannuation industry. Cbus is just the latest example. Think about it. If there's no real financial consequence for the fund's management, what's the incentive to prevent these failures from happening again? The members pay for the mistake, the fund carries on, and the cycle continues. It raises a huge question about accountability. Who is really looking out for the average person's retirement savings? The court itself had some strong words. Justice Button called the failures very serious and pointed out the huge number of members who were affected or at risk. Cbus has since apologized and says they've invested heavily in fixing the problems. They've apparently spent over $21 million on a new claims management system and hired more staff. That's great, but it's reactive, not proactive. The damage was already done, and the financial burden of the fine still falls on the very people the fund is supposed to protect. So what can you do? It's easy to feel powerless, but knowledge is your best weapon. First, check your own super fund. Read your statements. Look at the fees you're paying. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Most super funds have to disclose where their money is going, but you might have to dig for it. Second, compare your fund to others. Are their fees high? What's their track record? There are government websites and independent services that can help you compare funds. Finally, let your voice be heard. Talk to your elected representatives about accountability in the super industry. The more people who demand change, the more likely it is to happen. This Cbus fine is a wake-up call for everyone with a super account in Australia. It is a reminder that we need to be vigilant and demand more from the institutions managing our life savings. Thanks for tuning in. If you found this information helpful, please hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the financial news that affects you. See you next time.